2024, and we are so lucky to be with John Sadler with Safir GT40, and he's going to tell us all about the experience, the name, and some good history.
I can tell you how we got the name GT40.
Yeah.
My friend Peter Thorpe in England was building cars along with Ford Company and JW Engineering. It was in the late 70s, and they were building a good car, expensive GT40 done properly, but there was too many kit cars, Volkswagen Motors and whatever coming on the market. Peter had a meeting with Walter Hayes, president of Ford, and also John Wilmot from JW Engineering, and said they had to do something to protect the GT40 name. John Wilmot didn't spend money easily.
Okay.
As kind as I can say.
Good businessman.
And Ford really didn't want to get too involved publicly because of liability. So my friend Peter Thorpe said, well, if you guys won't do it, I'll do it. And with the okay of both Walter Hayes and John Wilmot, Peter Thorpe went ahead and trademarked the name GT40. In 1985, the trademark was given to Safir GT40 spares.
Wow. And then you've been registering them ever since and keeping track of everyone. And
for a long time, the GT40 name was not very popular, so it was a lot of work, a lot of money, and nothing in return. But as the years go by, GT40 is becoming popular, famous again.
Yeah,
again.
Yeah, very popular. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
1995, Ford came to us and we gave Ford GT40 for toy cars. So, and that's fine. We just wanted to do real cars. I think that contract is on our website, gt40.com. That'd be 2003 thereabouts, and we were called and went down to see Ford. They wanted to use the GT40 trademark, but actually there was two deals, and one deal went very well because they sent a very professional manager to talk to us, and it was a pleasure to deal with him. Awesome man, ridiculously good manager. But and those were for concept cars. When it came time for production, you know, a company that big has got great employees and not so good. We just didn't get along very well with the fellow that they sent to work with us, and we didn't make a deal. So the new car is a GT, and the cars that we produce are GT40s. We bought Safir off of Peter Thorpe in about 2000. We containered the molds, the parts over to our office in Cincinnati, USA. We've licensed Super Performance out of South Africa. They build the cars for us. We're getting close to 500 chassis built. And that's a lot of GT40s, a lot of happy people.
Yeah,
we have a lot of people talking to us and thanking us for continuing the cars. Because if you buy a 60s GT40, it's millions and millions of dollars.
Right, yeah.
But we've built the GT40 every decade. So here we are, 2023. They're not $1 million cars, but they are GT40s. We keep a registry. I keep a registry. I work with Ronnie Spain in Scotland, who registers the 60s cars for the 60s and 70s. And between the two of us, we know where every true, genuine GT40 is.
Wow.
So we have a lot of happy people coming to us and saying thank you so much.
Yes, yes.
We have a lot of friends.
I bet, and they drive amazing. And so it's not only do you get this great looking car and you're more accessible to more people, but I hear they're a race car. They're so fun.
It's a long distance race car, so they wanted the drivers to be comfortable, not get too tired. So you're laid back like an easy boy chair in your living room.
Love it.
Very, very comfortable. Wife and I, it's got a passenger seat. Wife and I go for coffee. She just relaxes and enjoys the ride.
Oh my gosh.
Right-hand drive, left-hand drive. 50-50. You can't say, you know, it's about, I've got one, it's right-hand drive. It's not that difficult to drive in North America. You've got to keep your head straight.
Yeah, I was going to say, you might be a little confusing, but I'm sure you get used to it and have fun.
And it's really very comfortable. But when you want to go fast, you put your foot down and that'll open your eyes pretty big. The performance is awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and the sound. I mean, it's just right up
Sound.
there with the performance, right?
They have
Gosh.
a 180-degree crossover exhaust system, so the sound out the back, there's 2 exhaust pipes, and the sound is left, right, left, right, left, right. Sounds European, sounds, well, I won't say it sounds Ferrari, but not too far away.
No.
GT40 comes from, it's 40 inches to the ground from the roof. If you measure it, you might be at 49 or 40 and a half or 39 and a half, but your yardstick will show you right there. That's low.
Yeah, yeah. Gives it that beautiful, streamlined, sexy look. I
Designed
love
in
the
the
profile.
early 60s and still looks phenomenally awesome today. So they're made in South Africa. We make them in South Africa because we can get them made with less expense. If we had them made in England rather than a base $250,000 car, it would be more like a $700,000 car.
Okay.
And even if we had them made here in the U.S., it'd be north of maybe 400,000. So it works out right. We bring the cars in as a roller, and the customer decides what he wants to use for a powertrain: small block, medium, big block. Each of those motors will make this car go as fast as you want. The cars come with air conditioning, which is quite a deal these days. My car from 40 years ago does not have air conditioning.
Yeah. Well, and they're light, so you have all that horsepower, and they're very light. So that combination makes it just so
Just
much
over
more fun.
2,000 pounds with probably an average of 500 horsepower. So if you do the numbers, that's a neat machine.
I was gonna say that's a good ratio.
But it only depends how far down you press the gas pedal.
Sure.
Because if you just drive around town, you can go for a cup of coffee, and it's a regular road car.
Okay, I love that. Well, Norman sold us on that originally when I got to sit in this car actually at SEMA, and he told me it could be my daily driver. So then we had to have one.
That's right. If you're driving this car, you don't need a cup of coffee.
That's true.
Right.
That's true, because it just will give you that.
It lights up your soul.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
I've had my car for 40 years. I raced it for 10. No accidents. A couple of wide eye moments. Now it's back on the street. Just a beautiful car. The GT40 is very much like a Can-Am car, but a Can-Am car back in the 60s was aluminum pieces riveted together. At the end of a racing season, the rivets come loose, the rivet holes get oval, and the frame is flexible.
Okay.
A GT40 is those same pieces of metal, a little over 100 different pieces, but rather than aluminum, they're steel, and rather than riveted together, they're welded. So a GT40 is structurally sound. So after 40 years, my car doesn't even have a squeak. The anti-skid, whatever the GT40 is, none of that. If there's an error of some sort, that's your error, not the car's error. It's light. It teaches you to drive, even the stick shift. I mean, the cars these days have got paddles, whatever. This is a driver's car, 100%. I can compare it to driving a go-kart. Everyone knows what it feels like in a go-kart, the machine becomes part of you. That's exactly what a GT40 feels like. You're really part of the machine. You go over a pebble, you can feel it in the steering. The cars in the 70s, the Mark Vs, were using Jack Knight steering, and at that time, Jack Knight was the steering used for Formula One cars. So it's just got the feel.
Yeah, it is.
The GT40, if you see it on the outside, it says one thing. There's so many cars when you get in the car, it's not the car you saw on the outside.
Yeah, it doesn't live up to it, right?
It doesn't
you
live
want
up
that
to it.
feeling and that, yeah.
And I give you a few examples, but I don't want people to get mad at me if I'm naming a couple of bad examples. But when you get in this car, nothing changes. It's the same car you on the outside, 100%. It doesn't let you down.
Yeah, it is disappointing. Well, we heard that too, that it's so raw, and that's the beauty of it, because
It's a good word.
yeah, like this, no power steering, no power brakes either, right?
No
so
power
it's all
steering, no power brakes.
Yeah, so
No slide control if you're in a corner in the slide. There's one thing that you should not do in a GT40.
oh yeah, yeah.
If you're if you're going through a corner really on a track, let's say, and you're going through a corner and the steering wheel is on the edge and and it gets you nervous, you don't back off on the throttle. You don't take your foot, but that's like pulling the handbrake on.
Okay.
And that'll get you backwards faster than you want. But the GT40, if you're on the edge and you're not comfortable, you can put your foot down and the back end will go out and you've got control. Like the car knows you're in control and says, I'm with you, let's do it. The engine, the transmission, the differential are all bolted as one piece. So when you put your foot down, there's no twisting in the frame as the power is delivered to the wheels.
Okay.
When you put your foot down, there's two perfect black stripes behind the car, not just one, let's say, that's more dark than the other. And it's the same thing in the corner. You put your foot down, the back end goes out, the two black stripes are there.
Yeah.
It makes it feel good.
I bet. Oh my gosh. Yeah. What's your top speed that you raced your GT40 at?
Well, it just keeps accelerating, so Road America has the longest straight.
Okay.
And I don't think my speedometer was that accurate, but I'm guessing 170 to be realistic.
Wow, yeah.
When you get up at that speed, you're pushing a lot of air, and that's where the big block comes into being, is the big block will push you up and past the 200 mark.
Okay, yeah.
Whereas if I'm doing 170 with a small block, to get to 175 might need another 50 horsepower.
Okay.
And you just don't get that out of a small block.
Okay, yeah.
But 170 is fast enough.
I was gonna say that's more than enough.
It is.
How fun.
The car's easy to work on. I'll give you an example. I got my car over from England, and my brother and I went to a speed weekend. And because of all the starting and stopping, the first morning my starter motor burnt out. And I'm thinking, here's all these guys with these nice cars having fun, and here we are stuck with a car that won't start. And my brother and I get along pretty good. And he says, you're such an idiot. He says, what's that over there? And I said, well, that's an O'Reilly's parts store.
Yeah.
And he says, you don't think an O'Reilly's has a starter motor for a Ford engine? So we went over, got the motor, the starter engine, and put it in the car and had a great weekend.
Oh my
you can't do that if you've got Pantera, all these specialty cars. So it's really a British chassis, a really reliable, strong American Ford motor, all in one package, and the simplicity of the whole thing. It's just I don't think there's any car like it. Very nice. Yeah. I hear you're getting one.
Yes, we are so excited, and you're so gracious. You said you might sign it, which would be so awesome.
To sign it, sure.
We just cannot wait.
It's one of those things. It takes a bit in your mind to sign a piece of paper and buy it, but once you've done it and made the commitment, you're a different person.
Well, I was going to say, I think we have a perma-smile ever since that day.
That's right.
And we talk about it and we look at it and you're right.
And we keep the registry, so there's 160, 50, whatever from the 60s, 40 Mark 5s to the 70s and 80s. We're close to 500. So there's a fair amount of friends that you've got now.
Right, yeah.
Because you all know each other's serial number. You've all got something in common.
I love that.
And you meet so many nice people.
That's what we're learning about this whole industry. I mean, car people are wonderful, and then GT40 people are just, that much better. No,
we're so often thinking, what do we call it? And it's GT40. It's just a GT40. But I think it's something else you could say is you meet the nicest people in a GT40.
There you go. I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
So, it's been, I started getting into this, back when I was 12, let's say, but GT40 specifically, early 80s.
Okay.
So now it's been 40 years.
And you've never looked back.
No.
Wow.
And you've just made so many great people.
Oh, that's so neat. Yeah. Well, again, we appreciate you and all you've done for that car, because they are fantastic.
So it's a labor of love with it, And my wife is behind me, and for all the hours we spend on it, she could be complaining, but she doesn't complain. And then we travel. I mean, I've been to Saudi Arabia, Australia, England a lot.
Wow.
Right? No, it just gets you out there to.
Yeah, like
see
gets
the
you out
people.
there, gets you meeting people, hear the stories. We're so excited. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's
My
just
pleasure.
been such,
It's my pleasure. It really is. Thank you.
Yeah.
You take care.